Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is ArbieG and today we are back with the Mazda Beginners Series. We're into round 3 and today I'm joined by my lovely co-commentator, Roadrunner Dan. Dan, how's it going, bud? All good?
Hello everyone, all good, thanks. Great to be back.
Great. So today we are at Goodwood in the Mazda Roadsters, and let's just have a quick look at the standings as they're up on the screen now after round 2. It's myself just leading off by 1 point, so really close here at the top, and then we've got Fraser on 55 point, or Rezarf as you see him on screen, and then we've got Sly, who unfortunately couldn't make it to round 3 today, so unfortunately he's not racing today, but he's there on 54, then Big Boy Barney on 51, and going down through we've got Dawes, then J-Lad, then Diva, then Drakel, then Hippie, then Lewis, then Mo, then Arbie, and finally Book the Boy. So that's the standards as they were. We actually run a qualifying session prior to a 10-minute quali. Let's just have a quick flick over now and see how the qualification went. So it's myself who just managed to nab pole, only very slightly, only half a tenth in front of Lewis, who starts off in second place. Then we've got Fraser breaking the 23 brayer, really hard to get inside that, so a 22.9 from Fraser, so well done him. Dawes with a 23.1, then it's Barney, followed by Book the Boy, J-Lad, Arbie, Diva, Mr. Navoli, and then Mo, who unfortunately couldn't set a qualifying time because he was having some connection issues on the night. So yeah, Dan, any big surprises there? Any shout outs for ones you think, oh, well do? I'm purposely myself going to point out to Lewis, who put a lot of practice in, and I was working quite a lot with him. So, you know, he was very fast, and I was very fortunate to get in front of him. I thought he was going to get pole on the day.
No, I think it's well done to everyone who's under the 23 markers, and those who are, like Dawes and Barney, just missed out on the 22s, but then the rest of them are still all pretty bunched up, which is good to see.
Yeah,
there should be some good battling at the front and near the middle.
Not much in it. We're going to skip forward anyway to the race, so this is the first race of the day, so we've got 2 races bringing us. We're bringing you today, so it's 2 20-minute races. We're going to go through highlights of them, but we'll see big chunks of the races as we go through now, and we get away to our first grid start actually of the Mazda series. We've been doing rolling starts before this, but now we've done grid starts at Goodwood with myself leading out, and you can just see in the middle of the pack here, following Big Boy Barney. He's got J-Lad behind him indoors, all up close to against each other, but all sort of keeping it nicely in a line. As Fraser is just sitting there in third position behind Lewis. Lewis actually moving up on me, having a little bit of pace on me, going up on that inside. Maybe I should have afforded him a little bit more room, but he's got enough room if he wants to take that inside line there. And we're through there, and Fraser has lost his back end, and it's coming, unfortunately, not myself and Lewis off, which was really unfortunate way to start the race. Let's just go back and have a look here. This is actually a view from just behind Fraser coming into that turn, which is not really turn 1 of the track, but it's the first sort of braking zone with these roadsters, as you're pretty much flat out through turn 1. And you can see there, he just makes the smallest bits of contact with Fraser, which sends him wide. Fraser loses control of the vehicle and unfortunately sees a few people off, and not a great start, and one of those really unfortunate incidents that has an impact. But you know, Dan, it can just take the slimmers and margins. But I'm going to ask you your thoughts about that, Dan. Just before that, we're just going to have a little look here, which this kind of happened at the exact same time. A little bit of side on side there between Arbie and Diva, which sees Diva go off in the wall. I'm just going to see this again very quickly from Arbie's point of view, as he is up behind Diva, definitely got the pace on him, and comes up there, and it's just a little bit of side on side, and just sees him off there. That's really unfortunate. So Dan, a few incidents there kind of happened at the same time. Any sort of immediate thoughts, really?
It's one of those. Everyone's excited to turn 1. It's unlucky Fraser took yourself and Lewis out.
Yeah,
but that happens. And then with the Diva incident, it was lucky. It was unlucky, caught on the outside. A bit of the Gran Turismo physics just bouncing off Arbie, quite unfortunately straight into the barrier. There's not much you can do.
Yeah, there's nothing really there, is it? And you know, I mean, you can see on that first one, which caused a lot of chaos, but ultimately it was the slimmest of margins that caused that. And you know, these things can happen.
There's a concertina effect from the front, so the first ones break, then the next and the next, and sometimes those further back don't always break as much as they need to and just end up pushing some.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Oh, definitely. So we're just coming through to the start of lap 2 now. You can see we've kind of, people have settled into their places. Barney leading us out from the front, and then J-Lad and Book the Boy. We're following Dawes at the moment now, who unfortunately, I think I saw Mr. Navoli just lose it a little bit by going wide, but he's actually managed to recover pretty well and get himself back on the track. Up with J-Lad here, got Book Du Bois following him really, really close behind. Looks like a battle out there for second place between Book Du Bois and J-Lad, as it looks like Book is going for that move now. And he's got that done very, very well. And has managed to pip in front there. But it looks like actually he ran himself wide on the exit. And it sees maybe a reckless re-entry onto the track there. Do you think? Kind of.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be doing well to avoid the incident, but being really unlucky the fact that he then caught the grass and went off himself.
Yeah, maybe a tiny bit more caution, but you know, as we said, these things can happen.
Swinging across onto the racing line or right across the track, so it's difficult. If you come back onto the track, try and stick to the side of the track. You're rejoining as long as it's not the racing line. If it's the racing line, just wait for a gap.
So we're just on board with Dawes now.
They're very tough.
And I think I've been it through the chicane just in front as well, so you're going to see me parked off at the side. So you want to see that? There's a video on my channel, so all covered on that.
I can see you waiting to rejoin the track.
Yeah.
In a slightly better way than.
Yeah, I did. I saw there was a bit of traffic, and I had to wait till it was passed until I come back in. So it can be a bit hard to judge sometimes, especially when you're doing that from moving as well, and you sometimes don't get the best field of vision from a bumper cam and stuff. But still, just a little bit of awareness, and you've got like the zoomed out radar as well. That can be helpful. You've
got the map in the top right as well that you can use.
It looks like ArbieG's just got a little bit more pace going through Mr. Navoli up until sort of this left-hander here. It looks like he's got that move done there, so well done there from ArbieG to get up in front. Book Du Bois and Dawes looks like they're scrapping for third, as we see Big Boy Barney and J-Loud still leading out the top two. And it looks like Barney, you can see on the map on the top right there, really sort of pushing out in first place, and J-Lad as well, looking like he's in a really, really good place there. So we're on board with Lewis as he comes through down to the bottom section, the last two turns, followed by, which is really one turn really, but followed by the chicane at the end, which I found this chicane at the end pretty much a make or break for the entire lap. You get through here with a decent pace, and unfortunately Lewis looks like he caught the rear end of the grass there, and that sees him pile into the wall, which see reoccurring quite a lot here. Fraser going into the grass as well, and it looks like he's come across, hit Lewis, maybe caught a little side on me, and Lewis is in no man's land. Looks like Fraser's waiting off there, giving Lewis a chance to catch up a little bit. Yeah, that's unfortunate on both of them there. Both of them, Lewis rejoining track and comes in, gets absolutely annihilated, let's be honest, by Fraser. But Fraser obviously not in complete control, as he's just trying to keep the car together over the grass, and just one of those things, unfortunately. sees them both drop back. In terms of pace, I wasn't hugely complaining. Wasn't too happy with my position overall, but at the same time, if I was in front of Lewis and Fraser, I knew I was having a good race, and when I saw that happen, I was like, oh, fair dues.
Unlucky Lewis, mate. Yeah. Not lucky.
I do like the Roadsters when they got the headlamps on, because they look like they're smiling. It's great.
Yeah, all the little pop-up headlamps.
Yeah,
they're good.
And the grill on the front for teeth. It makes me really happy to see them going around the track, and they look really happy about it. So just thought I'd highlight that out. Thought that was an important part of the commentary for today. We're just following Book Du Bois.
Everyone's spread out quite a bit,
yeah.
Aren't they? So it's not tons of action, but
no. But I think there's a lot talked about with the chicane. If you're looking at, if you were taking part in this race, you're looking at a place to improve. The chicane is the make and break part of the entire lap. Well, when I've been watching back, I've been some people sort of drifting through at 55, at 60. And I think when I really, really pushed it, I put a few hours into this, when I really pushed it, you can get through there about 74. So there's a lot of time to be gained there. And obviously, you got a lot of a flat-out track in front of you after that. So the faster you can get through that, ultimately it really, really helps on the next lap time. And you can see here, Dawes, again, fallen victim to the chicane curse. And this is the problem with the chicane. It's a high-risk move as well. As much as you can get through at 74, like when you really, really try and push it, you can sometimes push it a little bit too hard. So Dawes seeing himself into the pits there, jumping up to Big Boy Barney, really out really far in front in first place, so done really well there just to see himself out and just keep consistent. Be in the pits and a few others here coming through as we're in lap 8 of this race. It's actually, we worked it out to be a 14 lap race, so a lot of these coming in end of lap 8. Myself coming through. And now
is this the first time you've done refueling as well in the pits?
Yeah, first time we've had a refueling race as well. So we've just got Lewis on board with now. He's coming out. He's going to move up on the inside of J-Lad with the superior pace. And he's actually come himself off there, but catches the rear wheel again. And I mean, we're seeing a repeating pattern here, but this is quite common at Goodwood. I wouldn't want to think anyone's being discouraged here, but this is just the way that Goodwood is. Any wheel that you leave off track is going to result in you losing the back end, and it happens quite a lot, Dan, doesn't it?
Yeah, avoid the grass on the edges of the track seems very dangerous. But then it's not always the easiest track because it's corners which are just really light braking zones. So
a very fast track.
Reward. The faster you go through the corner and keep it on the track, you'll gain a lot more lap time than being too cautious.
So we're in lap 9 now, just on board with J-Lad, doing really well here in second place. Big boy Barney's going on for his pit now, so he actually left his pit to really late in lap 9. I think already most people will come in and out on their pits. So looking through there, we've got Barney first, Jay second, But Du Bois in third, so really good from those three. Dawes in fourth, Lewis in fifth, myself in sixth, Arbie in seventh, and Mr. Navoli in eighth. That's what we can see on the left-hand side. And so it's moving forward now to lap 11. Not much has changed from that grid, but you can see J-Lad and But Du Bois now in a bit of a battle for second place. As J-Lad's on the inside here, looking to get the move done. He's actually on a purple section there, so must have made that slip work really well for him, and actually gets through there at a really high speed. So really nice move there from J-Lad. Actually missed out on the highlight there, how he actually dropped from second to third, because he was in second before we moved away. Then we just saw him retake third. So yeah, it may have been pit. Yeah,
and he's got a good amount of fuel on board. So
could well have been a late pit. So we've got Fraser here a bit later on, lap 11. Little side on side there, Dawes just maybe trying to get in behind Fraser for slipstream and not judging it quite, but obviously no real harm there done. Fraser moves up now to 6th place. And just looking at the top, J-Lad still sitting in 2nd place, so really good run out here for J-Lad. Let's hope he can hold it out and see it through to the end of the race. But Du Bois just behind him, and Barney, like I said, with a very comfortable gap up top. In fact, he can make a couple of mistakes and still probably win this race. So Jay gets, you see what I mean there, Jay getting through the chicane there at 52, might just being a little bit more cautious, but there is a lot more time to gain out of there. And you can see the gains that But Du Bois is now making. Coming up behind, looking on the outside there, Jay staying on that inside, doing what he does. That defensive driving really well, but can be a little bit harder defending at Goodwood with it being such a fast-paced track, and in general you take the inside and you come out slow on the other side, and if someone gets a turn better than you, they'll just take you on the next straight. So lap 14 now, so we're in the actual last lap now. But Du Bois doing really well, setting himself a purple time there. Really wants to try and get in front of J-Lad here, but unfortunately he's caught the back end there, and you can see a really bad spin there, and Jay now has the pressure off him, can move away, and unfortunately he's caught away as well and sees himself spin off, and here comes Captain Fantastic rolling through. Yeah, it's not nice to see that. Obviously, it's pleasing for me in terms of the result, but like, you know, I was really hoping to see Jay come out in 2nd place there. He worked really hard for that, and it's, you know, a few turns away and he would have had it. And I think he was also running a purple a lap at the time, but nods to Barney here. No, we haven't seen much of him, but it's not much to watch when someone's so far out in front. So well done, Barney, for grabbing the win there. He comes over the line, and it's Mr. Opportunist coming through now to grab his 2nd place, completely not earned, but there we go. Arbie obviously capitalising on Jay and Butter's fall out on the last lap there to grab himself a podium in 3rd. And then we got J-Lad and Bupta. Still really good runs, and obviously it is a shame to see them fall off at the end there, but they grab themselves 4th and 5th place. And then Fraser coming down now to the final chicane. Only a tiny bit of fuel left, so really good refueling there from Fraser. Very efficient as he sees himself through. Likewise with Mr. Navoli coming through in 7th place now. Lewis already has finished in the previous lap, so we'll see Mr. Navoli through, and finally Dawes and Diva being a little bit behind at the back, finished off in 10th place as well. So really enjoyable race overall, Dan. Any kind of immediate thoughts just as we come to the end of it?
I think quite a few people caught the grass, which caught them out. But, yeah. And a few really unfortunate incidents, like people catching the grass and then Lewis caught the grass and then gets spun around again. That's just unfortunate. And then Dr. Boy and J-Lad spinning on the last lap is always horrible.
Yeah, definitely.
Cost them a couple of positions each.
So there's
I'm impressed with J-Lad. He's up further than last week.
Yeah, definitely done really well. So that was it for the first race. So we're just going to quickly run through those. So it was Barney, myself, Arbie, Jay, Bupta, Fraser, Navoli, Dawes, Lewis and Diva was the final confirmed finishing places there. So we're going to move forward now to race 2. Lewis getting away to a false start there. You can see straight off we've got a reverse grid this time. So reverse grid based on the first race. It sees Diva leading out first, Lewis not getting away to a great start. You can see the false start holding him back, and a nice tight bunch again as we go through, and let's see if we can have a cleaner first half lap or so for this one, as we're just on board with Dawes with J-Lad in the middle there, a little bit more side on side compared to the first race, a little bit more risky, but obviously people can still pull this off and afford each other room. Dawes moves up and actually moves up to first place, gets in with Diva looking like he wants to fight to get that back, not giving up yet, but maybe pushing himself a little bit too hard, sees himself run wide, and that's going to be a reset for Diva. Really unfortunate for him there. J-Lad again trying to be Mr. Consistent with this one, straight up to second place. Myself giving Arbie a little bump on the behind there. Fortunate not to see him run wide, or else I would have had to give that back to him. J-Lad with Lewis not too far away from him here. Lewis with that superior exit speed and actually up on the inside, coming down to the turn at the end of the straight. Looks like Lewis has got that move done there, sees him up to second place. Nicely done as they come through the chicane. Big boy Barney, you can see in 6th position at them all, getting a good speed through the chicane, you know, in the high 60s, definitely the pace you want to be seeing. On board of Arbie now, you can see myself just getting a little bit better exit out of the chicane. And we're just on board of Arbie here. A little bit of side on side. I try to go on the outside there, and I actually seem to hold Lewis on the track, and Arbie does well to hold off and avoid any contact. I rejoin, and it looks like the big person who benefits from that is Barney, who comes out now with J-Lad just behind him, Arbie, Lewis and myself. So another one there, Dan, a little bit unfortunate, you know, just one of those ones where a little bit of chaos and people trying their best to avoid what they can, but ultimately, you know, these things can happen.
Yeah, well, it's always hard when there's a big group of people. You're following a couple, the two at the front make a mistake, and it's where do I go left or right? You could have maybe braked, wait a bit, or you go around the outside and you're the one who benefits, and you're just unfortunate that time.
Yeah, looks like Mr. Navoli's trying to kiss the wall there by the looks of it. We've got J-Lad in third. Yeah, like myself, when I was behind that, my initial reaction was to try and avoid it and go around it, but, you know, with the benefit of hindsight, the choice I should have made is, you know, putting on that brake and just trying to get, you know, around the chaos without carrying that kind of speed where I couldn't control myself if I took any kind of contact. So J-Lad coming through the chicane, as is Bupta Boy with myself just behind him. Bupta Boy clipping the wall there and me just finishing him off. I've got a question, Dan. Should I have waited there? Because that was one of those ones I was really unsure when I talked to him at the time, and I was like a bit like, well, you know, you kind of... I was behind you and I was giving you plenty of room and you hit the wall, and yeah, I finished him off. But that was one where I was a bit like, should I, Dan, in your opinion?
It's one you stopped. It looked like he almost stopped dead, and you sort of half ghosted through him and then pushed him as well. It's one of those, I personally would have gone, you made the mistake, I was just right behind you, there's nothing I can do, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah,
But if you wait, it's also a nice thing to do.
Yeah, I was in two minds.
It's a 50-50.
Yeah.
Depends how. I think it depends how badly you affected the incident.
Yeah.
So because he stopped dead, I probably wouldn't have waited. But if he'd only clipped it and then I'd pushed him off, then maybe I'd have waited.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about the timing, really, and how far I had to. I mean, I had nowhere else to go other than straight into him, really. You know what I mean? Like, there was nowhere else to go. So, just looking at the race at the minute, got Dawes still leading out with Barney just behind. So, Barney in a great place again. Jay still holding up in the top, in third place with Lewis behind him, Arbie, then myself, followed by Fraser and Diva. So, a bit of a mixture on this one. A few new characters up there at the top, especially Dawes. See if he can hold this out. As we're just on board with Lewis now, coming through the final chicane, coming through in the lower 60s. So he's playing a bit of a cautious game there, I think. I know he can get through a lot faster. As you see myself just behind, just getting in front of Arbie, behind him.
It's a confidence thing there, that chicane, I think, is once you make the mistake, you'll become more cautious.
Oh, definitely.
And you build back up to going through it into those 70s.
And it depends if you're on an aggressive lap or not. You know, it depends what part of the race you're in and what you're trying to achieve. You know, because there was a few times, like myself, I certainly pulled off on it a little bit, especially when I was in big gaps and I wasn't, you know, I was in a more comfortable place. Ultimately, like if I was trying to push, and I was probably pushing it a little bit more through there. So Diva, oh sorry, go on.
In qualifying, you maximise it, see how close you can get to the rules. In a race, you go, I respect the rules.
Yeah,
Leave the space.
Yeah, it's not worth the smashes. It's not worth the contact on either side of the a chicane, or even, you know, as we've seen a lot of people do, is just trying to push it a little bit too much on the exit and are losing the rear end. As we're on board with Dawes now, fourth lap of this race, so holding out really well here. Looks, he's got himself a nice gap up here in first place, coming through the chicane himself, and he actually catches the wall himself. And as we've seen, really unfortunate for him now as Barney comes through. Dawes trying to come back on track if he can. Well done to afford J-Lad the position, and it's just myself and Lewis coming around, and Arbie as well. So really unfortunate there for Dawes again. I think we've seen that a few times, and we know how easy that is to do. A clip either side of that wall when you're off.
Costly it is as well. He's gone from first all the way down to seventh. He didn't hit the wall like Dr. Boy did. He just clipped and it spun him around.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's a little tiny mistake. Always on the grass again, but
maybe
he's fine.
Yeah. A little break in concentration is all it can take as well, and it's maybe not even a concentration thing. They're maybe not getting the ideal line through there.
Really respecting the chicane.
I know, right? Arbie, it must have come off of a previous slight slip or something. Arbie in fifth position here, having a good race himself, and God, that Mazda's smiling at you. Cheers me up so much. As they come round now, I think we should do all of our races in the evening, just to cheer me up when I watch the replays. Lewis, just behind myself, who's managed to get in front of him. And Lewis, we know, like I've practiced with Lewis a lot the night before, and he is very, very fast if he starts putting in his absolute like best. He can get into those mid 22s, which myself and some of the others could very, very rarely get into. So very much one to watch as we go through the series. As he joined us a little bit later on, so it's a little bit hard for him, unfortunately, to compete at the top when it comes to the standings, but still good to race alongside. Diva out in 10th there, and we've got Fraser not having a great race himself. He was really pretty much the leader going out some of the races last week, and not two particularly good races from Fraser. Obviously involved in a little bit of argy-bargy here and there, but ultimately probably be a little bit disappointed in where he's finished in both of these races, as we're about midway through lap 6 now. So how are you finding the race so far, Dan? Any big thoughts?
There seems to be less mistakes in race 1 so far, which is good to see. So
yeah,
Fraser's made, I think he lost the position of Dawes when he clipped the grass again, and keeps clipping the grass a bit. Maybe it does slow you down, guys, so just try and avoid the grass, or try and keep on the black stuff for the optimal pace. But Barney seems to be in front again. Yeah, quite happy with his gap. Everyone else seems to be doing fairly well. Nothing unusual in this one so far.
So we're just with Barney now, coming to the end of lap 7, so we're coming really much to the couple of laps where people are going into pits and stuff. Barney really on track here to get himself 2 wins, which no one's actually done this yet so far in this series. Got 2 wins on both races as he actually catches himself there, and he's actually gone into the wall and Barney's lost it, unfortunately, and Captain Wonderful's gone into pit.
Well, that was an intentional commentator's curse, because you must have known that was coming.
Oh,
I when you cut these highlights.
Oh yeah, definitely. I knew it was coming. And I knew it was coming because I was actually in the race as well. You know, this is not live, so I knew it was coming. So yeah, really.
It could be nice when instead you put the curse on.
But no, really unfortunate. It actually sees Lewis go out in front, but myself, I dived into the pits because I actually planned to do it at lap 7. Did give it a split second thought of whether I go out and seize on it. But either way, this kind of puts me in a very favourable position to go on and take first. But at the moment, the way things look, we've got Lewis still leading out. Unfortunately, we had some glitches in the race, and you can see J-Lad and Arbie gone into pit. It puts them in first place, and we never see J-Lad come out of the pit ever again. But from his point of view, he did, and he carried on racing. So it was a bit of a weird one. We actually do have a clip coming up of an incident involving J-Lad, which I want him to see, which kind of shows him that when someone pushed him off the track, no one really pushed him off the track because the person who pushed him off the track couldn't really see him. Because this is what we could see. J-Lad stuck in the pit with, I think that's Arbie as well. So bit of a glitch there from GT Sport. So really unfortunate, as can't really bring you what was happening with those two for the second half of this race, but we can see where they finished. And like I said, I did get Jay to share his replay with me, so he did grab that bit. I think it comes up in lap 10. So big boy Barney still out there, hasn't gone into pit, so he's still holding in first place. Looks like everyone's gone in for their pits now in lap 8. Myself coming round.
The entire choice by Lewis is on the mediums.
He was
on the super softs.
He could run a very good time on the medium, so he was kind of wanting to try it out to see if he got a little bit of extra towards the end. But quite honestly, I mean, I didn't find a lot of slip off even on the super softs towards the end. So there's a few people out there who definitely went on the softs. I remember a lot of conversation about the choice between super softs and softs. But yeah, a very brave choice there, I thought, from.
He came out on the softs, I believe. So.
Yeah, he did come out back on the
softs as well. So
Barney's coming in now for his pit. Same as last time, quite a late pit, end of lap 9. And myself, I think I was about 20-25 seconds behind him at the time when we were watching this. In terms of everywhere else, normally, like I said, I don't really focus on myself, but there's not really a huge amount of change in the pack behind us. Like I said, you can still see J-Lad and Arbie trapped in that pit lane. I believe a Butcher boy comes in and joins them shortly. So this is what I was talking about, where on the left we see what Dawes could see, and on the right we see what happened in J-Lad's screen. So basically, Dawes couldn't see you completely. Like, yeah, Jay wasn't really obviously quite understandably. You know, Jay was quite upset about that at the time. We tried, we wanted to explain it to him that from Dawes' point of view, he couldn't see anything. He just sort of drove his normal line and would come obviously straight through him. So a little glitch there. I've not actually seen that glitch before in GT Sport, where someone's on the track but not on the track. So weird one. But we've got Lewis now attacking big boy Barney for second place. Losing a little bit of the rear end there, but holding it together pretty well. Barney still running out a good race for himself here, as he still holds on to second place, but he is under attack from Lewis, who has, there's definitely something gone wrong with this blueprint. If you look, apparently Lewis has done 2 lap 11s, so well done him. So something definitely had happened with the lobby sort of towards the back end of this race. But Lewis is looking up on the inside of big boy Barney and looks like he's got this move done, beating him to the chicane. And let's see what kind of speed he gets coming through here. Doing really well there. You can see there, not even getting below 70 miles per hour. So he is really starting to push now. I think he wants a good result. Got a little bit of a gap between him and myself in first, so barring a mistake from myself, I don't think Lewis is going to be able to catch up, unfortunately. But we'll skip forward now to lap 14 as we see everyone over the line. So myself coming through there.
Self-proclaimed Mr. Fantastic.
I know, Mr. Wonder, Mr. Opportunistic. No, I was, very fortunate in the fence that, I had the slips happen, and Diva finishing off 6th, just lap behind there. Lewis securing his second place position. Dawes coming out, doing really well to get himself a podium today. Barney, unfortunately, tailing off a little bit towards the end. Sees himself slip down to 4th place. Didn't actually see why he slipped down from 3rd to 4th, actually. I missed that one, so apologies for that, Dawes and Barney. Actually, Arbie seems to finish just in front of him in 4th, so that was one of the characters who we couldn't even see on track. So he apparently finished in 4th, according to GT Sport. And Fraser comes through now to finish off in 6th. And I believe when it all works itself out, J-Lad actually finished in 7th place, even though it says Adiva. So you can see how it got a little bit complicated there at the end, Dan, in terms of where people finished and stuff. But before I come to you, I'm just going to go through those standings as they were confirmed by GT Sport at the end. So we've got ArbieG, what am I saying myself like third person? Ridiculous. Finish out in 1st, Lewis in 2nd, Dawes in 3rd, Arbie in 4th, Barney in 5th, Fraser in 6th, J-Lad in 7th, Book the Boy in 8th. Diva in 9, Navoli in 10th. So, yeah, a bit unfortunate about the glitch there, Dan, at the end.
Yeah, I've seen people disappear through disconnection, like weaker connections, but I've never seen people disappear out the pits.
Yeah, just like
not come back out
and desync from the rest of everyone else. So it was really like he was desynchronized with the rest of us. It was really, really strange. So it's a new one for me that I've never seen before. So I'm just going to quickly go through the standings whilst they've just popped up there. So myself actually building up a little bit of lead now on the series overall, sort of 8 points up there. Then we've got Big Boy Barney in 2nd place with 79 points. Fraser 3rd place with 77 points with a fastest lap on his name as well. Dawes in 4th with 64, J-Lad in 5th, and then we've got Sly, who unfortunately couldn't turn up, so it sees him slide down to 6th place, and unfortunately sees him slide back in terms of points. Then we've got Diva, Arbie, and then Lewis, who is up there in pace, but unfortunately joined a little bit later on in the series, so he sees himself in 9th with 2 fastest laps, which he managed to claim on today's 2 races. So you got both the fastest laps in both races, so well done there from Lewis, kind of what I expected, because he is very, very good when he puts in that pace. Book the Boy in 10th, Drakel in 11th, Hippie in 12th, Mo in 13th, Nissan Voli in 14th, and Doggers down in 15th place. So Dan, thoughts, like I said, in general, just in terms of round and race? Any
I thought
immediate?
Diva had a good round.
Yeah, very, very
He's
good.
up, and if you look, he's up into 7th now in the championship. That's very good for him, above Arbie and Lewis. The battle for the top still there. I think it's a shame Styles won here, but I'm sure he'll come back fighting next week if he's back.
Yeah, definitely. I look forward to seeing him. Yeah, no, it's shaping up to be an interesting series, and certainly, obviously, I've built that gap a little bit up top, but it's certainly not over as we're only halfway through the season at the moment. So, really interesting to see how the next 3 weeks unfold as we come round to them. And yeah, it's gonna be a good one. So we'll be back again with another highlights video come around to next week after the Mazda series. And yeah, that's it for today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to say thanks to Roadrunner and Dan for coming in and imparting his knowledge and thoughts. So thanks for joining us, Dan.
Thank you for having me.
That's all right.
See you next week, hopefully.
Yeah, nice one. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that other stuff that people ask you to do on YouTube. And if you're ever interested in taking part in either this series or indeed any other series that we run, don't forget to join the Discord and link below. ART run a bunch of races, and they're all fun to watch and great to get part of. But that's it for today, and I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, cheers. Bye.